Hey guys, time for another Radious roster overhaul. Today we're going to be doing the Dark Elves. We're going to kind of do the same thing as last time. We're going to start with cavalry, monsters, and archers, and then go into the infantry. There are no new no new heroes or lords for the Dark Elves, so I have Malekith up here. There's going to be a comparison between his stats now and his stats in base game in a second. Alright, here's the two. So you have Radious on this one. This is base game, so as you can see, 104 armor, 90. Leadership same, speed same, melee attack slightly less than Radious, melee defense way higher in the Radious Total War. Weapon strength way higher, charge bonus way higher. So just a little comparison between the two. They do this all the lords and heroes, everything's reworked. But yeah. Alright, so we're gonna start with the archers, the missile units. So we've got 3 new archer variants. We've got first the Cult of the Blood Queen. They have the Witch Elf kinda, I keep pressing the wrong button there, the Witch Elf kinda look with pretty decent range. They're gonna be Vanguard deployment. They do have the Murderous Prowess. Decent missile strength, good ammunition, pretty decent in melee as well. We're gonna turn that one on. They do have the Armor Sundering on both their missile attacks and their melee attacks. All in all, good balanced unit. They do have the Strider, so no debuffs for movement. I do really like their look. I like the color scheme of the Dark Elves a lot. Then we're gonna move on to the Daughters of Despair. If I can click the right buttons, they actually look a lot like just a Dreadlord. But they're going to have some really good armor, poisonous attacks on both their missile and their melee. Really good leadership, also decent melee combatant. Dark Elves, everyone's kind of good at melee it seems. The Murderous Prowess, of course. Good range, not as good as them, but it's also interesting. These guys do not have the Vanguard deployment, but less range. But yeah, they're gonna be pretty good at those poisonous debuffs. That's the minus everything, basically, a little bit. A new staple other than the Dark Shards and the Shades. And you have the Druchii City Guards. They're gonna be shielded crossbows. Oh, that's something to note as well. These are bows. Both of these are bows instead of crossbows. These ones, crossbows, they're going to have the charge defense versus all, which is interesting. Missile strength is going to be armor piercing and bonus versus large. Their melee, though, is not bonus versus large. Keep that in mind. It is armor sundering. They do have silver shields, so they're going to be good at absorbing some of those arrows that are being fired back at you. Less range than the other two variations because they are crossbows. I believe crossbows just have less range in general. Decent leadership, of course, with the Dark Elves. All in all, Dark Elves are all pretty, obviously not going to be really good at melee, but they're gonna be able to hold their own, help out when they run out of arrows and not just be arrows and bolts, not just be kind of stuck. Let's check out the Royal Hydra. You do have access to another monster. This is going to be a Hydra variant. All in all, just a little bit of a stronger Hydra. Not bonus versus large like the Charybdis, however you say that. Is going to be bonus versus infantry and armor piercing though. Regen still, another take its place. That is when it gets down below 50%, gets a lot of health back. It does have access to Fiery Breath. And then if we go over to the cavalry, we do have 2 new ones Helldrakes and Doomsteeds, and then we do have access to another Dark Rider variant. This one gives them swords, so they're going to have that anti-infantry instead of the anti-large of the normal ones. They do have the shields as well, so they're going to be good at taking some more arrows. Obviously, you don't want to leave them too porcupine, though, with arrows. They are going to have some really good speed. The Dark Riders are all pretty fast. And Vanguard deployment, of course. I do really like their look, too. Kind of like hiding their looks. The Doomsteeds, they're going to be anti-large, armor and shielded. Their horses look diseased. I'm assuming there's some kind of Naggarothi breed. But they're going to have poisonous attacks, bonus versus large because of the lances, pretty good charge bonus. These guys are more of the elites. They're going to kind of replace the, well, not replace, but they're going to support the Cold One Knights and stuff that all of you have. They are immune to psychology, which will be helpful against beasts. But yeah, all in all, decent armor, decent speed. Actually, they have the same speed as they do have the same speed. Interesting. Okay. But yeah, they're going to be an anti-large variant. And then we have the Helldrakes, which is another Cold One cavalry. They're going to have flaming attacks. They're going to have a fire resistance of 40%. That's pretty high. They are anti-infantry. They are shielded. They're going to have more armor, decent leadership. They are going to be slower than the horses, unfortunately, but they're going to be able to go in against those infantry and sit in combat for a minute. Really good armor, really good charge bonus, rather. All in all, I do love the design of the Dark Elves. They're really nice. I might get into painting Space Marines in 40K, and I'm taking some color schemes from the old world, how they do these units, because I do really like these color schemes. They're really nice. But yeah, that's going to be the cavalry, the archers, and the monsters. We're going to take a step back and go into the infantry next. Something I did want to make note of as well, they switched the extended roster to being just in cavalry and chariots, and then monsters and beasts. You can see the Royal Hydra. They also added the Feral Wyvern in here. But yeah, just some more of what Radious does to your rosters and gameplay. Alright, welcome back after the cut. So, as you can see, there are going to be a lot of new infantry options for the Dark Elves. We're going to start out with some variants to the already implemented ones. We do have Harganeth Executioners with shields. That's going to make them a little less susceptible to arrow fire, a little better at holding the line. It does say charge defense versus all. As you can see, does not have the extra charge defense ability, unfortunately. But they are going to be that anti-infantry Murderous Mastery. I'm not sure if that's true or not without the ability. So I don't know if they have to fix that or not, but there they are. Same design, just have some droopy shields. English is hard. We also have some Blackguards and Naggarons with spears instead of the halberds. They're also going to be shielded. They do have armor sundering. They're going to be anti-large, not going to be armor piercing. The halberds are. They do have that charge defense versus large. No charge reflection, surprisingly enough. But same design. They're just going to have the spears instead of the halberds. They're going to be better at taking those arrows as well, same as the Harganeth Executioners. And then for the rest of the roster, we're gonna go multiple variants to single variants. So first we're gonna have the shadows. They're gonna be kind of a similar role as the shades. They're gonna have vanguard deployment. They also have access to smoke bomb, which is gonna debuff anyone around them. The negative speed and negative charge speed. They do have a sword and shield variant, and then a spear variant. Both are going to have the Madness of Cain. They're gonna have charge reflection. It's really weird that the Black Guard don't have charge reflection, but expert charge defense versus large, charge reflection. They both have Vanguard, so yeah, same role. They're gonna go up close and personal. Maybe give your army some time to set up, or they're gonna go hide and flank. They do not have the hidden. What's that trait called? I don't remember what they don't have the same ability where they're hidden until they're like right on top of them that the shades do have. So these guys are gonna do a little bit better hiding in the trees if you want them to flank and such. And then we're gonna go to the inlets. We have a sword variant and a halberd variant. Just a little bit more of a variation from the Black Guard of Nagaron. Sword variant, they're going to be shielded. They have the blinded effect and magical attacks. The swords do have expert charge defense, and then silver shield, so they're going to be able to take some of those arrows better than others. They don't have a very good charge bonus. Neither of them do, so these guys are going to be more of a hold the line unit. Same thing with them, armor piercing, anti-large, blinded effect, magical attacks. They do have charge reflection with the expert charge defense. I do like their design a lot. The Dark Elves just have nice color schemes in general. I really like the Dark Elves color schemes. Now we're gonna go to the Fellblades. Fellblades, they're gonna be more of a shock infantry for the most part. They have a great sword variant and a dual wield variant. Decent charge bonus of 32 versus the other one's 27 and 29. Neither of them are shielded, keep that in mind. They're gonna definitely be the anti-infantry flanking force. They both no. Only the dual wield have the armor sundered. They do have access to frenzy as well, immune to psychology. But so you have the anti-infantry, and then you have the armor-piercing anti-infantry. Keep in mind though, these guys do not have that armored sundered debuff, which is where the armor-piercing comes in, of course. All in all, I do really like how the great swords stand. That's always been cool to me. Kind of in a defensive force, ready to strike them down or defend themselves. And then you have the Fellblades with their dual weapons. You do have another Black Arc unit. You have the Black Arc Reavers with spears and swords. They're going to be a little more balanced than the Black Arc Crusaders. With those, you have the dual wielding, and that is it. So these are going to give you a little bit more of a staple. They both do have shields, which is going to be nice. 94 armor, pretty decent. The spears are going to have the bonus versus large, charge reflection, and charge defense versus large. They also both have poisonous attacks, which will be a nice little debuff whenever they're fighting. They do have the Sea Dragon's Cloak. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on it, you guys can get these pretty early on from the Black Arcs as well. They're gonna help staple the Black Arcs together instead of just having the two Corsair units. I do really like their capes. Their capes are really nice. But yeah, that's gonna be the Black Arc Reavers and Spears. Now we're gonna go on to the single units. We've got the Brides of Burning Blood. They're gonna be another Cain unit. Magical, flaming, what is this? Is this But yeah, anti-large, I was right. I don't know why I was looking at that. They have spears. Of course they're anti-large. Really cool armor design. They're gonna have the witch elf look again. I really like their armor design. They're gonna have fire resistance, missile resistance. They have access to frenzy. Pretty decent armor. No shields. Keep that in mind. Not gonna take arrows very well. Okay, charge bonus. Not gonna be excessively strong. They do have dodge, which is gonna give them missiles. Another missile dodge. Doesn't work against magical weapons. And then the frenzy and murderous master.
Their blood will please Cain.
Witch elves with spears and heavier armored. Then we have the pit veterans. They're going to be an axe infantry. I think one of the only ones, if not the only one, the Dark Elves have access to. They're going to have charge defense versus all, which once again is not down here, so I'm not sure if... I'm pretty sure the abilities is where it comes from, so I'm not sure if they don't have it in the abilities that they're not going to actually have that. Well, there'll have to be some testing for that one. They are going to be anti-infantry. They are going to have shields. Not nearly as much armor as some of the other Dark Elves. They're not a heavily armored unit, but it is going to give you that axes without armor piercing. Apparently, they are anti-infantry. They also have perfect vigor, which is going to be nice. They can move around a lot more. They do have access to death blow as well. Whenever they're above 20%, they're going to have some more damage. They do have a physical resistance, which is going to be negated by any magical attacks, but they're going to survive a little bit longer. I need to go let my dog out. I'll be right back. Hello, I'm back. So, we're going to have another Witch Elf unit that's devoted of Slanesh, or Witch Elf aesthetic. They are going to have, like, no armor whatsoever, but they do have those shields, so they're going to be a little better against archers than the Witch Elves are going to be. They do have the murderous prowess, access to frenzy, poisonous attacks, anti-infantry. They're going to be the Witch Elves, but a little less susceptible to arrow fire. Same kind of look to them. I do like their shields. They're like tower shields. But the Witch Elf aesthetic is just really cool in general. I like the dyed red tips. And then we're going to move on to the Pits Fighters, which are going to be a great axe infantry. It could be argued these two are variations, but not exactly, so we kept them in the single unit. They're going to be a great axe infantry. They're going to have that. They're going to not have that armor. Same thing with the Pit Veterans. They're going to have the armor piercing, frenzy, physical resistance, higher charge bonus, but not by much. Once again, the Dark Elves, they have such nice colors. I love their colors. But, yeah. So there's the Dark Elf roster. As you can see, a lot of infantry. Definitely gonna give you some more roleplay ability with the Corsairs and the, wherever the Corsairs went, the Reavers and the Harganeth unit, and the, just a lot of variations in general. Sorry, I'm totally struggling. But yes, looks nice. Radious does a really good job. You saw the comparison of the stats between Malekith, and then you saw the difference in like the monsters you can have with Rakarth. But yeah, all in all, pretty good roster upgrade. I'm really curious to see though the charge defense. I genuinely do not know if they have it because it's not in the ability list. So that is definitely something to look out for. Maybe in future updates they fix that or get rid of it in here. But yeah, that's gonna end this video. We're gonna keep going down the list. Once I deciding to go down instead of left to right because I'm weird. So instead of like the Bretonia next, it's Dark Elves, and then instead of I don't remember what comes after Dark Elves, but I think down is Grand Cathay. So next is going to be Grand Cathay. If that's wrong, I'll fix it in the description. But yeah, I will see you all next time.